Let me take you to my colleague Mariska Botha, who's actually in attendance at a protest about the potential of VAT, which seems to still be on the table. Over to you, Mariska.
Yes, very good morning to everyone watching, and thank you for tuning in. This issue is very, very pertinent, as you mentioned there, and your guests as well. That is the big source of worry at this point for the majority of people in South Africa, and it's represented in the form of various organizations that will be gathering here in Rulandstraat Direction Parliament. COSATU, TAC, SAFTU, a number of organizations will be gathering here today to protest about that very thing. But let's speak to Mr. Solipetswe, the General Secretary of COSATU right now, to get his views on this. Mr. Petswe, thank you for your time and your patience with us. Why are you here, and what is your message?
Well, thank you very much. You will recall that we're not coming here for the first time. We're here last year, October. We're here on the 19th of February 2025 when we're not agreeing with certain clauses or certain information that the minister was going to present. That we are here leading, as COSATU, leading the civil society in the Western Cape, presenting our concern and registering our message clearly to the minister and the president of the Republic of South Africa that we need a budget that is going to talk about service delivery to the people. We need a budget that is going to talk about the creation of jobs. We need a budget that is going to tell us how are they going to secure or restore the dignity of the people of South Africa. We need a budget that is going to tell us or talk about the implementation of the national insurance, improvement of the health system. We don't need a budget that is going to tell us about continuously cutting the budget of the people. We need a people's budget, in summary, the budget that is going to talk about issues that are affecting the community. We need a budget, for example, the community health workers who are doing a lot of work in our community. We want them to be employed as permanent workers. Community workers program who are doing a lot of work in contact with our community members on the ground. We want them to be employed as permanent workers. You will recall at some stage the Minister of COGTA issued a circular that those workers who are above 55 years must resign. And we went out as COSATU publicly. We went to meet with the Minister of COGTA, and those workers, they are still employed. We want them to be employed as permanent workers. And we are here sending a clear message to the Minister and the President, no to VAT increase. We are saying if they want to increase VAT, they must tax the rich, those who are making money every day. Here in Western Cape, for example, there's a company called Sea Harvest. That company is making a lot of money, but you can ask the question, what is it that they are delivering to the people of South Africa? Therefore, our message to the President and the Minister of Justice, the Minister of Finance, we need a people's budget. We don't want a budget that tell us that they are going to privatize the post office, they are going to privatize SABC, they are going to privatize Transnet. Those three SOEs that we're talking about, they're facing a serious challenge, and this challenge is caused by corruption, nothing else. We need the minister to tell us today in his budget speech, how are they going to deal with the corrupt elements within the ministry, within the government, all the fears of government. That's what we need. And we need a funding model for the municipalities, because our municipalities are collapsing and people are not able to get service delivery, what they are expected to do, what they are paying for every day. That's why we're here today.
And just talk to us about the ordinary man and woman on the street. They are already battling just to get by. And now if we're talking about a 2% VAT increase, I mean, it sounds little, but if you add it up, it becomes a lot. What would that impact be on the ordinary man and women who you are representing here, if that is implemented?
Well, it's going to be worse. It's worse now. It's worse now. The cost of living is high. If you are going to give an increase of 2% to VAT, what does that mean, as you are asking that question? It's going to make the people of South Africa to die. In fact, you are killing poor people who are not earning nothing. We've got employers today who are refusing to implement the national minimum wage to pay these farm workers. You see, these farm workers are here. It's because their employers are not implementing. They are not complying in terms of the national minimum wage. Even that national minimum wage of 28.79 per hour, it doesn't make any improvement in terms of their living condition. Therefore, the cost of living is going to be high. It's going to continue to oppress and exploit, oppress and put pressure to the poor people and the working class, laymen on the ground. Even this, those who are getting the SASA grant is going to go. We want the minister to talk about how to improve the SRD for the people of South Africa. The 350 rand that they are paying to people is nothing. And we are saying workers who are extended public works program, they must be taken to training in terms of the skills development, so that when they finish their contract as an extended public, they are able to get a job, or they are able to do something from their family or from their communities whilst they've been trained. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Solipetwe of COSATU. They're raising some very pertinent and serious issues. As he said there, the impact of a 2% VAT increase on the ordinary man and woman trying to make, well, struggling, some of them, to just earn a living wage will be immense. So the concern is dire, the concern is great, and people will be gathering here to express that. And as you heard Mr. Petwe saying there, they want a pro-poor budget, and they want to see corruption being tackled, to stop the bleeding of funds and to deliver what was promised to everyone in South Africa, especially in municipalities that are collapsing. And they want to see the budget really speaking to those who are the poorest of the poor, still 30 years into democracy.
All right, thanks very much to my colleague there, Mariska Botha. And of course, she was in conversation with Zwelinzima Vavi, who was talking about the social relief of distress grant. You'll remember that was introduced during the COVID period to assist people who had suddenly got into financial dire straits. It's been continuing for a number of years, but it's always been said by National Treasury to be a temporary measure. In the budget that wasn't tabled, it was said that the SRD would be available until the end of March 2026, with no certainty around whether it could be funded thereafter. But of course, that's a big political hot potato. It's an income that people have become used to. It was raised recently to 370 rand, but of course that is not enough for many people, and they would want more. But of course funding it, which is to the tune of about 35 billion rand a year, remains a challenge for the fiscus.